What's good, YouTube? This is Nexus here on the Teamwataponuk UK channel. Welcome to another instalment of Text for Talk Tuesday. This is episode number 6, and these are the two cards we're going to be reviewing today: Effect Veiler and Mind Control. Now, what Effect Veiler reads is that it can be sent from the hand to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, but only during the main phase, no battle phase, and it negates a monster effect. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's a trigger, ignition, or continuous, or whatever effect, it will negate it. Comes in 3 different rarities. It was first released in Duelist Rev, came out as an Ultimate Rare, which I have, I actually own 2, an Ultra Rare, which I also own 2, and a Rare, which I own none. It came out in a Rare in Duelist Pack UC 3, I believe. Anyway, Mind Control, on the other hand, has come out as a Gold Rare, a Super Rare, and a Common. And I'm not sure about any other rarities, but what Mind Control reads as is take control of one monster on the opponent's side of the field until the end phase. This monster cannot declare an attack or be tributed, meaning, unlike its bigger brother Mind Control that was around for a lot longer than this card, Mind Control, unlike Brain Control, can only be used for synchro summons and exceeds. You can't attack with it and you can't tribute it off. Some people say that Brain Control is more broke than Mind Control. Some people say Mind Control is more broke than Brain Control. Think about this for a second. Pay 800. Cost. Non-optional. To take control of one face-up monster on the opponent's side of the field. It has to be face-up, therefore it targets. Now, that monster you can attack with, you can synchro summon, you can tribute for a tribute summon, e.g. Kai's the Shadow Monarch, which I have right here. Example of Exceed, and example of Synchro. Now, to me, that gives you way too many options. Yes, it is limited by the fact it has to be a face-up monster, but you can do too much stuff with it. Mind Control, on the other hand, although you can take a face-down monster, e.g., I don't know, say Raikou, for instance, which I have right here. You know, you flip it, you get the effect. To pop a card on the opponent's side of the field and then mill 3 cards. Milling, as I recently found out, is not a cost, it's part of its effect. So, but getting back onto the point, Mind Control is highly versatile and is very good this format. It made me win my last big locals hall competition purely because of this card. The ability to just go Mind Control, take your face down monster, flip it face up to see what it is, and then either summon another monster and synchro with it, or it allows you to open with other combos such as play a creature swap afterwards and switch it with another monster on their side of the field. So now they've got a face-up little weakling monster, e.g., I don't know, Marshmallow, for instance. I know it's highly unusual to see Marshmallow, but I just like the card Marshmallow. Now, you flip over their Marshmallow, sure it can't be destroyed by battle, but you got to remember it's got a really weak attack, so if you switch control of that Marshmallow back to your opponent, after you took it through Mind Control, flipped it face up, and you take something like, I don't know, a Thunder King Ryo, and you attack into that Marshmallow, you're dealing them 1600 points of damage. Now that's one combo. Mind Control, flip face up, depending what it is, creature swap. I've seen that happen, and it's very funny when it does happen, but bloody annoying when it happens to you. Now, Mind Control is limited at the moment for what I believe to be very good reasons. For example, if you used to take control of a level 4 monster and you were to summon your own level 4 monster, you could go into number 39, Utopia, also known as Kiboro or Hope in Japanese, which roughly translates as Aspiring Emperor Hope. So they don't get their monster back in the end phase, because Mind Control only lasts till the end phase, but because you exceeded with it, they don't get it back. It is attached as an Xyz material to your Utopia, or if it's level 3, your Leviathan Dragon, which should still be called Revised Dragon in my opinion, but that is besides the point. So, it's attached to your monster, so you can do with it what you will to activate the effect of either of your Xyz monsters. Now, Xyz monsters usually say detach one material or both materials in order to activate an effect. Now that is what we call a cost. You detach and they have to go to the graveyard in order for the effect to kick off. It doesn't go to your graveyard, however. It goes back to your opponent's graveyard because your opponent is the rightful owner of that card. Unless you're a dirty little thief. But, yes. It's also handy for taking control of stranded tuners on the field. Say you Bookamooned their monster to prevent it from attacking. Or basically they went some tuner revive a monster that they plan to synchro with. You Bookamooned or just bottomless trap hold or whatever. That monster that they were planning on synchroing with, because tuners can't tune with each other. So they got a stranded tuner on the field. You Mind Control that, and you summon your own monster, and you can synchro into such broken options as Brianna the Ice Barrier, Black Rose Dragon, Scrap Dragon, and Trishula. Now, that proceeds to gain you field advantage, because you take one of their monsters through a 1-for-1 card such as Mind Control and use it to synchro or exceed with, giving you an instant plus. Now, I don't really like the term plus, but I thought I would educate those for the less experienced players and duelists who don't understand the meaning of gaining pluses of cards. Gaining pluses of cards is either drawing cards or getting advantage over your opponent through cards of your own by using their cards. Basically, use your cards to take their cards away for your advantage. Like Mind Control, you take control of their tuner, you take control of their monster, and you synchro or exceed with it, giving you a plus on the field. Now, I think I've clearly explained Mind Control. Just to be double sure, it does target a monster on the field. So normal spell can only be activated during your turn. Quite common to come across now, it's because it got released in common. I believe it was Warrior's Strike or some sort of warrior deck. It was all based around Geminis back late last year. It was the structure deck before Machine of Mayhem. The structure deck itself wasn't particularly popular, but the cards in it, however, such as Burden the Mighty and Mind Control, were very popular. So you shouldn't really have much trouble picking up a Mind Control. I admit that mine's a nice shiny super, but you can get it as a common. Now, onto Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is a highly versatile card, right? Rather expensive. As Mr. Susky Dragon explained the pricing of this card in his Mayhem Monday last week. It's a highly versatile card because of the fact of it negates a monster's effect, regardless of what type, as long as you activate it during your opponent's main phase. Now, there's many strategies and ways to use this card. Say for instance they go Tribute, Caius. Caius' effect. When Tribute summoned, remove from play, which is now called Banished, one card on the field. In response to that, you say, I chain Effect Veiler, negating your effect, and you send it to the graveyard. But, as we have seen the rise of the rabbit decks recently, in such places as YCS Brighton, they are playing the likes of Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure. Now, you cannot activate cards in hand that say, send this card to the graveyard, or cards on the field that have an effect saying, send this card to the graveyard, because Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos remove stuff from the game. They banish it. And because it can't be sent to the graveyard, you're not fulfilling the card's full effect. Because you have to send it to the graveyard as a cost, and then the effect activates in the graveyard. Well, the effect activates in the hand, but resolves in the graveyard. Or so it seems. I may be wrong about this, so if I am, please do correct me. Because if we don't help each other out, how else do we learn? Now, you send this card to the graveyard, right, to negate Caius' effect. Done, dusted. You cannot, however, play this card if they have a Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos on the field, because you can't actually send it to the graveyard. Although those cards do say instead of being sent to the graveyard, they're removed from play, this doesn't work because its effect states it has to go to the graveyard in order to work. So, other such examples are using it against Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning and Chaos Sorcerer, its younger brother. Now, you can use Effect Veiler at any given time. You don't have to activate it when they activate the effect of a monster. E.g. if they remove one light, one dark spell on Blackluster Soldier, and you ask them, depending on what your back row is, do they wish to call priority on its first effect? Which will more than likely give away that you have something face down. So, if you yourself want to get out your own Blackluster Soldier in hand, or Chaos Sorcerer, and the opponent want to call Prio on the effect of Blackluster Soldier, you can play Effect Veiler, negating its effect, and then your trap card can go off. I do believe it works that way. So, they summon BLS. They call priority on the effect, right? You say, in response to the summon, I activate yada yada. But in response to the effect, I play Effect Veiler. Now, I'm not sure if this works. I was told this by Mr. Sasuke Dragon. In theory, it seems to work depending on the situation. But some people will just summon a monster and call priority anyway. You can use this, even if you don't have something on the back row. But basically, use this card. I'm going to have to speed up now because I'm running out of battery. Basically, use this card very wisely. It's a very powerful card. It can give you a massive advantage over the opponent. It's an easy light into the graveyard. It's a level 1 tuner as well, which a lot of people overlook. So it's a quick light into the graveyard. It's a level 1 tuner. It can be revived once it's in the graveyard. It's not a semi-nomi or a nomi, etc. And if you play this against their Thunder King, people may be like a bit, what the fuck? Now, I've used this against Thunder King to get around its effect of not allowing me to add cards to my hand. Because I play a zombie deck, and Goblin Zombie adds cards to my hand as well as the likes of Potter Duality and Sangan, which is here. I would play Effect Veiler on that Thunder King to allow me to gain pluses when they attack with that Thunder King or another monster, or play Dark Hole or whatever, destroying my shit so I can get my pluses off to add cards to the hand. Now, that's one example of using Effect Veiler. Now, I showed you the example of using it against Caius. It also works on Exceed monsters. When they detach as the cost, you drop Effect Veiler, Leviathan Dragon stays on 2000. It does not go up to 2.5, but they are still detached one material. Hence the cost. When they summon Black Dust Soldier, you can just drop Effect Veiler so they can't activate any of their effects. Either to remove from play or to destroy a monster by battle and then attack again. Use it on Utopia, so they can't negate your attacks. Use it on Trishula when it's summoned, because it says when this card is summoned you can remove from play one card in your opponent's hand, field and graveyard. So playing an Effect Veiler on this gives you a bit more security, but also prevents the opponent from gaining a plus. Use it on cards like Scrap Dragon to stop them blowing up your shit. Although they do have to sacrifice one of their own cards, it's, if you want to get that light in the graveyard, if you want to protect that card, it's worth using it against Scrap Dragon. Black Rose Dragon, it is just funny to play Effect Veiler against Black Rose Dragon, because they will go Synchro into a 7, any response to the summon, nope. Activate effect to nuke the field, Effect Veiler. Crap, because then they can't nuke the field and destroy all the cards, but they also cannot remove a plant type monster from their graveyard to reduce the attack points of a face-up monster on the field to 0. So they've got a 2/4 beat stick on the field, and 2/4 these days isn't that hard to run over. And finally, Brionek. Now, when this on Brionek and use this effect, you chain Effect Veiler, they still have to discard as their cost. Don't be fooled. Don't think it's part of the effect, because it's not. Discarding is a cost in order to activate the effect. They have to discard first and then designate the target in which they want to so-called bounce off the field. If you have any further questions about these two following cards, please do not hesitate to contact me or Mr. Sasuke Dragon, and we will help you out to the best of our ability. As you have seen in other Tech for Talk Tuesday videos, the links will be down below in the description, as well as a link to my own personal channel. I have now reached 215 plus subscribers. I thank you very much for that. Our team is going to be growing in leaps and bounds this year. We have a few plans in motion in which we hope to broaden our horizons of our business adventures. If you want to know what I mean by that, keep your eyes peeled to the Teamwataponuk UK channel. Anyway, I've been Neonextus. I've taken up enough of your time, and I'm signing out. Peace.